Matthew 25:14 through 30, it's really a challenging text in some ways, but in this text, you have a landowner who gives talents or coins to three household stewards or managers. He gives one 5 coins, another 2 coins, and another 1 coin. The first person doubles it. The second person doubles it, but the third person just holds on to the 1 coin, and the owner gets upset with this last person because he does nothing with the coin. If we think about this text, there are sort of 3 A's I want to lift up for you. The first is autonomy, so that the owner gave autonomy to these managers that they could invest the coins, they could spend the money. He did not dictate what they had to do with the money. They had the autonomy to do with the money as they please. In the same way, God gives us autonomy, even though we are stewards and should be taking care of God's creation, but he gives us autonomy to do what we want with what God has given us. So we have the autonomy to use the resources in a helpful way. We have the autonomy to use them in a not so helpful way. So the question we should be asking ourselves is, how do we use our God-given autonomy? How do we use our God-given autonomy? The second thing is application. So that, again, in application, we have to think about all of us have different abilities and we have different resources. And the same is true for congregations. The question becomes, how do we apply those resources and use them in a way that is generous? How are we taking them and being creative with what God has given us to manage? And we saw that 2 of the stewards and managers probably were creative, and that's why they were able to sort of double the resources. One of them didn't take that initiative and was not able to do so. So we have to make sure we're using the right application with our resources. So the question here is, what guides our practice of stewardship? What guides our practice of stewardship? And finally, there's accountability. When the owner comes back, he asks each manager or steward, what have you done with the coins that I have given you? There's an accountability that they have to the owner. In the same way, we are accountable to God. Even though we have autonomy, we're still accountable for how we use God's resources, and we are accountable for how generous we are with others. God is generous with us, and the expectation is that we will be generous with other individuals. So the question is, how do we understand our accountability to God? How do we understand our accountability to God? So we think of autonomy, we think of application, and we think of accountability. Those are 3 sort of key concepts for stewardship.